Hi guys! Today I'm going to be going over different types of watercolor washes. So we're going to be going over flat washes. We have a dark flat wash that we're going to learn about, a medium flat wash, and a light flat wash. So we will be demonstrating each of those. We're also going to be going over graded wash, and we're going to talk about wet and wet technique. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Go ahead and choose a color from your watercolor kit, except for the color yellow. It is too light and won't show up as well. So go ahead and pick one color and then pop it out and put the rest of your colors away. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to do is tape down the different sections of your paper. We are going to tape 5 different sections. So we're going to have one for wet and wet, one for graded wash, and these 3 are for the flat washes in different values. So we're going to have a dark value, medium value, and light value flat wash. So tape down the different sections, and then we will start with our watercolor. Alright, so first we're going to start with our graded wash. So the graded wash is basically a gradient. So it's going to go from dark to light, almost transparent at the bottom. So you're going to start with dark, so get quite a bit of pigment. You do want to have enough water so that the water can spread. So you're going to start add some water, keep going, add some water, and that is the graded wash. And then you're going to take some paint and brush down the middle. See how the paint is expanding? So whenever you put the watercolor paint with the pigment onto the layer of water beneath it, the color spreads into the layer of water beneath it. So that is the wet and wet. So the first thing you're going to do is mix your colors. So you're going to create the darker value, the medium value, and the light value, and you're going to swatch them onto your piece of scrap paper. So now we will be going over our flat washes. I ended up painting the darker value, but it wasn't recording, so I didn't get that on video. So here is me demonstrating the medium wash. I know that the medium and darker wash sort of look really similar on camera. In person, the darker wash is a lot darker, but I go ahead and darken it up a little bit in just a second. Make sure you are using smooth brush strokes. You want to go in one direction, because if you go in multiple directions, you might see the brush strokes, and the point of this is to have a smooth, flat finish. It's important that you're using enough water to where the pigment doesn't dry brush onto the paper, enough water to where the pigment flows evenly on the surface of the paper. but if you use too much water, then you might have puddles, which will cause discoloration in your wash. So now I am painting the lighter value. I find that sometimes the lighter value can be tricky because there is less pigment, so sometimes it looks a little bit uneven. I did mine very light, so it was pretty nice and smooth. But with some colors it can be a little bit like patchy, so be careful that you're not using too much water. Notice how my brush strokes are going in the same direction so that you don't see any brush strokes whenever it dries. Alright, so that is our completed wash practice. So we have our graded wash, our wet and wet technique, our dark wash, our medium flat wash, and our light flat wash. It kind of looks white in the video, but whenever you take the tape off, you can tell that it's light blue. So I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off. And there you go, my completed wash paper. And the last thing we're going to do is label each technique. So now you have a study guide so that you remember all of the names for the techniques that we used.